The Chinese are very energetic people. Labeling in China can work. Our people love this much more than anything else. The car is hellish, but not fast. We will try to show this topic as well. Of course, labeling is just sticking labels on a product, as it would seem to everyone, but it influences later stages, including traceability. And most of our products are produced in China. We're here. China produces about 10 billion pairs of shoes a year. All of it is made here by hand, despite the fact that China is a very progressive country. In hotel rooms, you can adjust the volume of the TV while sitting on a bowl, and everyone rides electric scooters. Looking at this market, as well as on the roads for cars, the country is developing very strongly. But manufacturing is still a daunting task, and automation involves manual work. That is, people's habits and skills are what is automated. Today we are in one of the typical factories, which is called WIN-free. Let's see what's here for us. We will try to show you the entire shoe manufacturing process, from start to finish. And of course, since the topic of our trip is labeling and the introduction of a global labeling and traceability system in Russia, we will try to show this topic as well. Let's go to the factory. On the first floor, as soon as we enter the factory, there is an office and warehouses for preparing materials from which the upper parts of shoes will be sewed together later. As usual, these are fabric, leather, various synthetic materials. The addressable storage system is quite simple to make everything quick and clear. Well, such a small warehouse of raw materials. Let's go further. We are in the afternoon, so the factory is quite quiet right now, and by the time we get to the final point, the work should be in full swing. Let's go to the next level. Well, we're stepping to the second floor, to the first manufacturing line. The highest class craftsmen work here, thanks to which an entire production line will then be launched. Depending on how correct the patterns they make will be the quality of the shoes produced, their beauty and comfort when worn, which our people love much more than anything else. Now we will look at how the main forms of shoes are made, which will actually hold the shape of the entire shoe, and then additional elements will be superimposed on it for beauty and convenience. Now we can see how the canvas is prepared for the blank of the upper of shoes or sneakers. Well, thanks to simple machinery, simple shapes are cut out. These are other forms that will then be insoles. This plant's building is about 10 years old. Practically, it is fully equipped with all the necessary equipment and meets the technical standards of this country. The Chinese are very energetic people, mostly moving around the floors on foot. The elevator is mainly used for loading and unloading equipment from the upper levels to the lower. So we are in a workshop that produces the upper parts of shoe blanks, which, in fact, will then become a shoe. Let's see how the model is stitched. We did it all right. Work is in full swing and everyone is stitching one or the other element of the shoe. In the factory building, everything is arranged in such a way that the processes are divided into floors. On the first floor there is storage. On the second floor there is preparation of the blanks, and on the third floor there are production lines for assembling the shoes. Where is the beginning of the line? Well, as we can see, the production line is quite automated. But in this case, automation is people themselves, who are not quite like robots, but we see at the first stage how glue is applied to the upper part of the shoe. The insole and top are glued, placed near the pads of the same size so as not to confuse them. And everything else gets into the oven in order for the glue to reach the desired consistency. At the next stage, they try to fit, to adjust the upper part of the shoe to fit the shoe base. And note, this is not done by robots. Each person has their own task. With this volume of production, the factory can produce up to 5,000 pairs a day on multiple lines. We are at the stage of quality control, finishing of the shoe, and its preparation for presentation. We are getting closer to the process of labeling the shoes.
The work of the tagger on the line. Actually, pre-printed labels, separate labels for each shoe size, and, with bare eyes, all this is matched. The speed here is such that a visual comparison is quite enough. There is no rush. There is no need to tear your claws, accelerate. Time from the first item to the other can be, well, it's actually 2 quick items, well, somewhat like that. Well, in any case, if there were any concerns about the fact that printing on the spot will be a nightmare, that it will not work in a factory, are false. We are at the factory and printing labels one by one at a time is not something that will slow down the process, obviously. There is an assembly line here, but it is clearly not the same assembly line that people imagine when they hear conveyor. This isn't some hellish fast car. It's people working here.
The car is hellish, but not fast.
Just a moving belt, and really, I should measure it. We get 2 pairs. The first one is marked. I've got the time. The second one. 7 seconds. 7 seconds is very fast. Now let's count down to the next pair. How long it will be. How long it will take. While time is still running out, there was an easy cheat here. Well, okay, 17 seconds is a break between 2 cycles. 17 seconds is a very long time.
Everyone is clearly doing their job. Of course, all this is done so tedious and dull that, well, human errors are not an exception, and literally before our eyes. On 2 stages, on one of these lines, which are now behind me, we saw how several mistakes were made by employees. The factory's director of quality and production immediately noticed these errors and told people to fix them. Moreover, what was done with errors was put aside. He invited other people who were able to complete this work.
We are on a production line in China. And now we will check the speed of labeling with a mobile printer. Note that it is not stationary, and whether we will be able to do the labeling as quickly as the line requires. The marking document has already been created, we just need to select it. It contains the necessary stamps, and all that is left for us is to scan tins that are already on the product in order for the printer to start printing them. Let me remind you that we print on a mobile printer. Its speed is lower than that of a stationary one, and it is not intended to be used on assembly lines. But we chose the slowest option in order to be sure that our software will pull such a task. Scan GTIN, scan the resulting label and stick it there. Right here. Not the SOSO option. But gladly we did not cover the main sticker. We are moving on. We scan the GTIN. Scan the label. and stick it. We scan. Check the correctness of the resulting label, stick it, and so on. As you can see, we are quite in time for the line. That's all, we've labeled 10 pairs of shoes with the speed of the conveyor. Cleverance software coped quite well, even a mobile printer wasn't a hindrance. So, we are waiting for aggregation. We fold a box. Of course it is difficult for me to compete with experts in the skill of box folding, but, nonetheless, we will need a code for the box. It is assumed that pre-printed labels are used. But, in this case, only the order number is on the box. Accordingly, we will need a unique number. I'll just take a pre-printed barcode from what we have. So, we start the aggregation process. This is an operation that is supposed, perhaps, to be performed in manufacturing, or perhaps in some customs warehouse. Well, something that allows us to assemble a group box, transport packaging, scan and remember a unique barcode for it, and collect those marking codes that will be in this package. So that in the future you can only scan the group box code and work with it. We use the codes into box option, start by scanning the box, then scan the 2D codes that are inside. I've already scanned the box, it's open, and we're scanning 2D codes. It looks something like this. We have collected 9 boxes and can tap close manually, but when we scan the 10th one, the box will be closed automatically and you don't need to do anything else. It remains only to pack the box. We already have all the information about its contents. Actually, probably, that is what we wanted to show.
Do you feel Chinese?
A little bit. Everything, to the finished product warehouse.
Here, at dawn, in the city of Shanghai, our journey to shoe labeling research ends. No matter what anyone thinks, this is not an obstacle to anything. Good software is proof of this.
The software showed itself perfectly and showed itself perfectly in terms of speed on the conveyor. Thanks.
Cleverance software can work from China. Bye.